but then we started doing the beats and listening to the beats. We got the beat and put it into the dance. Start off with Scott sitting down with hands together, and then it's Scott sitting down and repeat 4 with hands gliding side to side 4 times. Well, we wrote the dance like we wrote the procedure with the computer. If we go sideways, you've got to see how many steps you take. So you've got to write it down all on the paper. And it's how you work it out on the computer too.
I dream of helping more children experience mathematics as I do, with all the intimacy of dancing.
Little by little, we're learning how the computer can make bridges between the mathematical and the sensual, the abstract and the intimate. Is the turtle and its computer a real hope for the future? Will a generation of kids grow up with new ways of thinking? Will the social experience of programming with all its sense of achievement introduce a new model for education? An education system without schools as we know them, where the institutions of learning are lively, rhythmic places where novices and experts, jugglers and mathematicians, clowns and physicists get together. They're experimenting with the School of the Future in New York. This is the first school to take Seymour Papert to heart and put his principles into practice. It's supported by New York City District 9 and the Academy of Science. Here, computer power will be as accessible as pencils and paper. It really has become a tool to think with for all pupils. Teacher Pete Rentoff.
So on the west side of Manhattan, we have Hispanics and blacks and whites and Orientals, and we have all sorts of kids. Some of our kids read at a level of 2nd grade, 3rd grade. Some of them read 12.9, which is the top of the scale. And some of our most prized successes have been with some of the kids that you would feel perhaps wouldn't do well on the computer. Now with Logo, we've been able to introduce this to kids who are not your great math students. And we've found one child who was almost 4 years behind, at least in his recorded reading score, became the top computer program in the class.
Down. Which way you want it? Up.
Responsibility for this diverse group of students is shared by Steve Siegelbaum.
We have situations where kids have been turned off to school. We have situations where many of the kids may have not had a positive educational experience for years, if ever. We have, for example, not only dropouts, but we call them drop-ins. Kids who aren't in our class, who wander by and just come into the room when they do a double take. They see something going on there and they hesitantly saunter in.
The students here use computers in all subjects. One surprise success has been in creative composition.
Well, this is supposed to be a city scene where a driver just rides along the road and then he sees a bomb on the street. The next thing you know, it blows up and it just disappears, and then it draws 2 buildings, the 2 buildings that were regular buildings.
You get some idea of the weeks of time and effort that went into it from the length of the printout. The teachers have noticed that after heavy inputs of programming, all their students' work was longer, better planned, and had more logical sequencing. Working on a computer had a definite payoff. What did his parents think?
They were amazed at first because they didn't think I could work on a computer. They didn't think I knew anything about this computer. So when the teacher started showing me how to work on it, I learned.
You know, I tell the computer first one of the programs that it knows. And then I give it my program and it'll do it. I have a program making a house using similar shapes like rec, you know, the size of rec and how could I put it? It's been good to me.
He's drawn a hacienda in the country using mathematical concepts more complex than those required by exam boards. concepts he might have rejected in another form or context. Anything students learn has to have meaning for them, to be useful, like the use of French logo for Haitian students.
How many times?
Gauche, à gauche.
Well, we were working with the program, with the computers a little bit, but not much. And then when we heard that there was French logo, we're interested. So we have a sheet that gives us the terms in English and then in French. And so we use forward, backwards, just in French. And then we have to we can tell it what to do, what we want to name our program in English or in French. So it depends, either way.
What was the répétez? Répétez.
How many?
What was it?
50. Avance.
Meanwhile, for the benefit of newly arrived Puerto Rican students, Maria is involved in
Changing logo English into Spanish. But like people that don't speak English could have a chance to work with computers, but in Spanish. So now a lot of people could get to know computers.
It's fine working with logo and working with the computers that a collegial relationship develops. We work on a project together. Each kid's project is serious. I may be working on a project. We consult with each other. Kids consult with each other. Kids help other kids. Kids help adults. Kids can come up with information and ideas in all areas of their learning, in all subjects, and make a contribution. And this is what an ideal society is, with everyone making a contribution.
Well, yeah, I need a little bit of help. Okay, well, because I want the screen to be white, not black.
And the great thing about the computer is that it can bring together in one experience the aesthetic, the personal, the bodily, the analytic, the mathematical, the abstract. All these things happen in one combined, integrated experience. The child making stuff on that screen is following an aesthetic, is doing something socially and culturally meaningful and personally involved, as well as mathematically rich. These are not separated. It's not as if the computer now does one thing and now does the other. Like real life situations, like the baby's relationship to the toys or to the mother, it has all these dimensions integrated into one experience. And this is where it leads to a fundamental change in the nature of the learning.